With Shadow of the Erdtree allegedly just around the corner, I thought I'd list off the 5 things that I want the most from Elden Ring's DLC, starting off with number 5, more sorceries. Currently, there are 70 sorceries in Elden Ring, and granted, while that is a lot when compared to the 101 incantations in the game, there is a slight imbalance when it comes to faith-based builds and sorcery-based builds. There's also a few subsections of sorceries that could use a bit of love, such as the Bubble and Abhorrent sorceries, which currently only have 2 spells in their class. They're not used nearly as much as the Glintstone or Carrion sorceries, so it'd be nice to have a few extra spells in their class to mess around with. I'd also 100% take a new class of sorcery, whatever that may be. I'm positive there will be more sorceries in this DLC, but it will be pretty interesting to see what they come up with. At number 4, we have better looking armor sets. Now, I'm not saying there's no good armor combinations in Elden Ring, there definitely is, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of great armor combinations in the game, especially when it comes to the helmets. They're questionable to say the least. I think the problem with Elden Ring's armor is that the armor sets look great, but only if you have the complete set, whereas I like to mix and match. Adding a few more versatile helmets like the Carrion Knight helmet or the Great Helm would make the game just that little bit better, and while it's not a huge problem, it would be a good addition in my opinion. At number 3, we have harder bosses. This one's a no-brainer, as From Software is notorious for ramping up the boss difficulty in their DLCs. They've given us some of the best boss fights in recent years through their DLCs, such as Manus, Artorias, Slave Knight Gale, Sister Frieda, Ludwig the Holy Blade, Fume Knight, and Orphan of Kos, to name a few. I can only imagine what amazing boss fights they'll give us next. Godskin Quartet, anyone? No, but in all seriousness, I would love to fight another Outer God. Mikla is all but guaranteed to be in this DLC, plus he's an Empyrean, so there's a big chance that we will, but we'll just have to wait and see. There's also the possibility of us getting to fight Godwyn the Golden, with Mikla trying to return his soul to his body before the events of the game. There's so many possibilities. At number 2, we have more Madness weapons. Currently, there's only 2 weapons in Elden Ring that deal the Madness status effect, Vikes Warspear and the Fingerprint Stone Shield. Madness is a niche status effect in the game, as it can only really be used against a few select NPCs and fellow players, making it a PvP-oriented effect. Since there's so few melee options, I'd love for a few Madness weapons to be implemented into the game. Something like a straight sword or katana with an Ash of War similar to Flame of the Redmanes that deals Madness damage would be amazing. I've always been disappointed that there were so few Madness options in the game, since it's such a massive part of the story, but there's still time. And at number 1, we have a new ending. Yes, my top pick is a new ending for Elden Ring, but there's already 6 endings in the game, and they're all pretty unique, so why do I want a new one? Well, I think that if Mikla is in the game, then we could possibly get a mending rune that, if used on the Elden Ring, could give us the most positive ending in the game. Mikla is a symbol of abundance, and if he's not an outright villain in the DLC, I hope that we get an ending that sees the lands between flourishing again. But then again, it is From Software, so I won't get my hopes up. Their endings aren't the happiest things in the world. And that wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment anything that you'd want in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Be sure to like and follow for more FromSoft and gaming content, and take care.